Hi there, you're on Gossip Says channel. Enjoy watching, subscribe and like it. It's growing our community. Story 1: OP is receiving Amazon packages he's not ordering. I prime suspect reveals themselves. My neighbor is having their Amazon packages delivered to my apartment the 2nd of September 2022. I was wondering if someone here might have an idea of why my neighbor is doing this. I need to start out by saying that the lamination or whatever is covering the walkway outside my apartment door is loose peeling, and it's very noisy when you walk on it. It's literally impossible to walk over it quietly. My girlfriend and I try to sneak into the apartment if we know the other is home, but we are never able to. I work from home most of the time, so I'm usually home when packages get dropped off. A few days after my neighbor moved in, I heard another set of footsteps approach the door very soon, like less than a minute after the packages were delivered, then walk away still trying to be quiet. I thought someone had stolen a package, but after checking with my girlfriend, nothing was missing. This kept happening 2 or 3 times a week, always on weekdays. The problem is in the afternoons when delivery drivers get to our complex. I'm usually on Zoom calls for work, so I can't get up and go to the door to see what's going on. I do know it is always Amazon packages, as I can see the delivery truck parking spot from the window next to my desk. Around 2 weeks after it started, I was not on a Zoom call when I heard packages get dropped off. I saw out the front window that it was our new neighbor taking the packages. By the time I got dressed, he was back in his apartment, so I knocked on the door and explained the situation and asked if his packages had been being delivered to our apartment by mistake. He said he had no idea what I was talking about. I brought it up to the landlord, but after hearing that we weren't missing any packages, he just shrugged it off with a "that's weird." I called the local police station. The officer I spoke to said I could come to the station and file a report if I wanted to, but there wasn't much they could do about it, especially since we weren't missing any packages. He seemed to think it was just the Amazon driver delivering to the wrong place. A couple days ago, I happened to be free and near the door when I heard some packages being dropped off. My girlfriend and I weren't expecting anything, so I knew that the neighbor would be coming to pick it up. I looked out the peephole, and sure enough, less than a minute after the packages were dropped off, he came walking up. I opened the door right as he was bending over to pick up the package. He looked at me, grabbed the package, and started walking very quickly back to his apartment. I asked what he was doing taking a package from our doorstep. He said he had brought the package in from his car, even though I literally just saw him take it from our doorstep. He wouldn't stop to talk to me. I followed him and asked to see the package to see who it was addressed to and what the apartment number was, but he kept saying he had brought the package in himself. He went back into his apartment and wouldn't answer his door when I knocked. In hindsight, I should have taken the package before he arrived to look at the shipping label and force him to knock on my door and ask if I received the package. I'll be doing this the next time I'm able to. I'm confused as to why he is doing this. I've chatted with him a few times and heard him chatting with other neighbors, and he doesn't strike me as someone so socially awkward they couldn't explain that his packages keep getting delivered to my apartment for some reason. I thought that he might be getting less than legal things delivered, so he didn't want them going to his address. I don't see how getting such packages delivered next door would be any better though. However, the packages are always delivered by Amazon delivery. I could be wrong on this, but I think that anything delivered by Amazon delivery is fulfilled by Amazon themselves, so it's not some possibly sketchy third-party delivering. Is there something I'm missing here? No real harm is being done, I think, but not knowing why he is doing this is bugging me. Edit. Thanks for all the advice, everyone. It's much appreciated. I've contacted my landlord as well as the company that owns the apartment complex by email and let them know what's going on. I went into the police station and filed a report as well. I let my boss know what's going on, and they gave me permission to step away in the middle of our Zoom meetings when I hear packages being delivered, so I can grab my neighbor's package the next time one is dropped off at my apartment. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. I plan to contact my city's post office on Monday, but I don't know if this falls in their jurisdiction since Amazon is the courier. I will make an update post when I learn more. Update. My neighbor is having their Amazon packages delivered to my apartment the 22nd of September 2022. Here is the original post for those interested. Hi all, sorry it's been a while without an update, but nothing much has happened. After I made my previous post, my neighbor had 2 more packages delivered. I'm guessing he had already ordered them and they were in transit when I caught him red-handed taking a package from my doorstep. The packages had different names on them. Neither one of them matched the name my neighbor gave me when we introduced ourselves. He didn't come to my door looking for the packages either. I kept them, but I didn't open them. One box was small and light, and the other was larger, fairly heavy, and I'm guessing it contains multiple items. As I mentioned in an edit to the post, I had filed a police report on the situation. I was contacted earlier this week by my local police department, and a detective came out to my apartment to ask me some questions. He wouldn't give me any solid answers on the nature of the investigation, but he was clearly very interested in my neighbor. I'm guessing my neighbor is suspected of some form of fraud like many people suggested in my previous post. I handed off the 2 packages mentioned earlier to the detective as well. So that's where things stand right now. Nothing big or exciting going on so far. If anything else comes up, I'll make another update. Comments on catching neighbor. You said you caught your neighbor red-handed. What was his reaction? What did you say? I opened my door and he was standing on my doorstep already. He made eye contact with me, bent down and picked up a package and started to walk away. I asked him what he was doing, and he said he had brought that package in from his car. I asked to see the shipping label to see where it was meant to be shipped, but he still insisted he had brought the package in himself. He evaded every question I asked until he got back into his apartment. Then he wouldn't answer the door when I knocked. Informing Amazon. Thanks for updating. Did Amazon agree to stop sending packages without your name to your address? I contacted Amazon, but I got the runaround for nearly an hour and a half. Everyone I talked to originally thought I was complaining about having my packages stolen. It took each of them a while to grasp the situation, and every time I was transferred to someone else who could supposedly help. But it always meant I had to explain the situation all over again. In the end, nothing was resolved. You have to ask for a US-based phone room. You can request it, then ask for the fraud department. It's really hard to handle complicated issues with people who speak English as a second or third language on a phone line. I will try this. Even though he seems to be done shipping things to my address, I'd rather cover my bases. Update. My neighbor is having their Amazon packages delivered to my apartment the 11th of November 2022, so it's been a bit without any new info. However, today I heard a commotion outside my door and stepped out to see my landlord and the maintenance guy at my neighbor's door. The landlord was pounding on it for a good 5 minutes, but my neighbor didn't answer. The maintenance guy opened up the door and they went inside. I waited around for a while until I could catch the maintenance guy alone and ask him what was going on. He said that my neighbor hadn't paid this month's rent, so the landlord went to collect, but he wasn't there. It looks like he skipped out on his lease and moved out. The maintenance guy said he didn't take everything, but he definitely moved out. I don't know how long he has been gone. Other than the times he came to my door to pick up packages, he was a very quiet person. I don't have any update as far as the criminal investigation into my neighbor goes. I haven't been contacted by the police, and I don't know if it's really okay just to call them up and ask them about an ongoing investigation. I guess that's all we're going to get from this mystery. Unless there's some way in California for citizens to stay updated on police investigations. Thanks for all the interest, and sorry it's been so long since the last update. Story 2 Op no longer wants her friends to babysit IDA December 10th. 22 AIDA for looking into professional babysitter for my child. I have a daughter who is roughly 1 year old. Her name is Allison. Her dad and I both work full-time jobs, where I work between 35 to 40 hours a week and he works anywhere between 40 to 45 hours. We both work mornings. My friends Tom 23 meters and Skylar 24 had volunteered to watch Allison for us as Tom worked from home and Allison isn't known to cry very often. At first it was going great. Tom would have Allison in a separate and baby-proofed room where she could play with her toys while he worked. Then Skylar would take over when she came home. We offered pay many times but they kept refusing. And Skylar would ask us to bring Allison over if it had been a while since we asked her to help with babysitting. Finally, we agreed to them having Allison 3 days a week, but they made us promise to stop offering to pay them. It was great for a while. It really worked out. But then Allison started coming home with rashes from stale diapers. She'd be extremely fussy and hungry by the time we got home. We would talk to Tom and Skylar about this and request they were more observant of her diapers at the very least. Her thrashing and screaming because diaper ointment hurt broke my heart every time. Especially since I knew it was avoidable. They'd say yes, but after a while would go back. They have recently started lying to get out of our arraignment, claiming to be out of town for the week, then Snapchat us them being at home with their birds. Claimed they were sick but our mutual friends would still be hanging out. And claiming that they wouldn't be at home all week for work, when Tom works strictly from home. His job doesn't even have a main office. Without them knowing, we registered Allison with a professional daycare service. I drop her off in the morning and her dad picks her up. Word got to Skylar and Tom and now they are blowing up our phones calling us evil, shifty, and rude for not telling them they wouldn't have Allison anymore, and claiming I betrayed their trust by not talking to them about my concerns. AIDA for finding a daycare for Allison. When asked why they would offer to watch Allison for free, they had said it was because Allison was a joy to be around and that they had no problem doing a favor for their friends. They said accepting payment just felt wrong for something they volunteered and wanted to do. When asked about Allison being kept in a separate room all day, we were under the impression that Tom would be interacting with her semi-frequently. He told us that his job is extremely slow-paced and in the 4 hours he would be working while looking after her, he would have a 1-hour lunch and a 15-minute break, plus the ability to be with her until he heard a notification from his computer. More info in the comments. As for the visits, we haven't seen them in 3 weeks, so they haven't been around Allison. And I don't see that changing. I just have this sick feeling in my gut and I don't know if it's guilt or instinct. We had been talking about possible overnights once a week due to the late pickup and early drop-off times 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. due to our work schedules and drives, and I'm just glad I had never agreed to it. My husband and I are going to be calling Allison's pediatrician tomorrow morning. I have this sick feeling, and with every traumatic diaper change it gets worse. I am praying that everyone's dark thoughts are wrong, but I can't shake this feeling. Our pediatrician is available for an emergency appointment with us today, thankfully. We're in the waiting room now. If Allison's pediatrician wasn't available, we would have gone straight to an urgent care nearby. Verdict? Not the asshole, but get your baby examined by a doctor. Update: I am not ready to go into too much detail yet, but we have been advised by Allison's pediatrician to launch an investigation against Tom and Skylar for what I thought was a diaper rash. It was apparently burns, which would explain how it appeared in the course of one day as badly as it had and why it didn't seem to be healing. Allison is not going into her daycare tomorrow. She will not be leaving my side. My boss is offering me the ability to stay home with her during the course of everything. If a further update is requested at a later time, I will. But I can't for right now. I don't have the mental capacity. Thank you, everyone, for assuring me I did the right thing and advising medical counsel. I feel like a horrible mom for not doing so sooner, but we'll put that aside for now to care for my daughter. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos.